A student visiting one of his professors said, "Why, doctor, surely this is not the garden from which all of your inspiring thoughts come." "Oh, yes," the professor said. "But it's so small," said the student. "Yes," and then pointing to the sky, the professor said, "But see how high it is." Friends, so often we limit our worlds to a little circle here on earth by failing to look up. The earth is so tiny compared to the heavens above, and man is so small compared to God. One person placed with God is more mighty than all of the armies that have ever marched. David must have had this thought in mind when he sang, "I lift up my eyes to the hills. Where does my help come from? My help comes from the Lord, the maker of heaven and earth." Psalm 121, verses 1 and 2. Dr. Lyman Abbott illustrated this fact in the following way. He says, "I pluck an acorn from the greensward and hold it to my ear, and this is what it says to me. By and by, the birds will come and nest in me. By and by, I will furnish shade to the cattle. By and by, I will provide warmth for the home in the pleasant fire. By and by, I will be shelter from the storm to those who have gone under the roof. By and by, I will be the strong ribs of the great vessel, and the tempest will beat against me in vain, while I carry men across the ocean." "O foolish little acorn, wilt thou be all this?" I asked. And the acorn answers, "Yes, my God and I." Friends, have you ever been guilty of not looking up, of not thinking of God and the complexity of all of His creation? Have you tried to accomplish great things and failed because you did not add the unmeasurable heights of God to your life? The strong man Samson learned the hard way that he was so weak without God's power. God had given him special strength as he dwelt in Samson. All of this was related to the Nazirite vow in which his hair had never been cut. Samson toyed with this sacred vow and finally revealed such to Delilah. While he was asleep, she had a man cut away his hair, and his strength left him. Then she called, "Samson, the Philistines are upon you." He awoke from his sleep and thought, "I'll go out as before and shake myself free." But he did not know that the Lord had left him. Judges 16 and verse 20. With God, Samson was the strongest man. So long as he looked up in faithfulness, the warring Philistines could not harm him. But the moment that God left him, he was reduced to a slave at their command. And truly, as the little song says, he has the whole world in his hand. What about your life? Have you looked up? Or are you continuing to look down? Keeping your eyes focused upon the things of this world rather than on things above. Friends, whenever you lift up your heads and you cast your eyes upon the glory of God, you set your sights upon those things that lie ahead, that lie beyond the door of death, in this wonderful place called heaven. Whenever we look to those things and we consider what God has in store for each one of us that will come to Him, that will submit to His will and will live a life of obedience unto Him, we cannot help but stand in awe of our God, to be amazed at the things that He has done and continues to do for us. But friends, we must always keep our sights on things above. And if we do so, we will not lose sight of God. Thank you for listening today. Have a blessed day.